All right, so today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to take some of that really deep, abstract spiritual wisdom and, actually make it practical. We're talking about how to build the very architecture of your mind, literally creating a framework for unshakable mental strength. So, let me kick things off with a question for you. Think about it. Is your mind like scattered dust? Just blown all over the place by whatever's happening, anger or old habits, you name it? Or is it a solid, unbreakable crystal, totally focused, super strong? Well, today, we're basically looking at the blueprint to get you from that dust to the crystal. Okay, so our first big idea here is what's called the crystallization principle. This is the core technique, really, for forging that unbreakable will that I think we're all looking for.
But what are we even trying to fix here? I mean, a weak mind isn't just about feeling a little down. It's that feeling of being trapped by anger, by tension, and that frustrating cycle of knowing what you should do, but you just can't seem to do it. And that's why just saying, I'm sorry or I repent for bad habits almost never works, right? They just keep coming back.
So, here's the process to fix it. It's actually incredibly simple. Step 1. You plant a seed. This is just a small, totally manageable vow, what's called a Sankalpa. Then comes the growth phase. And this is key. You stick to that vow with absolute, unwavering consistency. I'm talking no excuses, no exceptions. And the result? Well, your willpower starts to crystallize around that one little promise. And here's the amazing part. Those bad habits you were always fighting against, they just start to fall away, all on their own. See, the magic here isn't in how hard the task is. It's all about the absolute consistency of just fulfilling that promise you made to yourself. This simple, relentless act of do it and do it and do it, that's what builds that solid inner structure. It literally attracts more mental strength to you. Okay, so now that you've started building a stronger mind, you've got to be able to focus it, right? And this next idea, well, it's pretty unexpected. It's actually kind of counterintuitive. It suggests that one of the most powerful tools for achieving intense focus is sorrow. Yeah, I know, that sounds weird, but just look at this comparison here. Happiness, it tends to excite our senses. It scatters our energy all over the place. But sorrow, it does the exact opposite. It triggers this natural withdrawal of the senses, a state called pratyahara, and it makes the mind intensely laser-focused. It's described as a powerful jolt, almost like the reality, while happiness can sometimes feel more like a fleeting shadow. They actually call this the Fevicol effect, like after a really strong brand of glue. Think about it. When you experience real sorrow, your mind doesn't wander, does it? No way. It jumps right onto the cause of that feeling and it sticks. It gets completely absorbed, and you don't have to put in any effort at all. We've all felt that powerful, automatic concentration. So the key isn't to try and escape it, but to learn how to harness that incredible focus. All right, so we've got a strong mind, and now we've got a focused mind. The next logical question is, where do we aim all that concentrated energy? And that brings us to the art of redirecting your inner mania. Now, here's a really powerful way to think about this. What if all that anxiety, that obsession, that neuroses we all struggle with, what if it isn't a flaw? What if it's just a powerful engine of feeling and intensity that's just pointed in the wrong direction? This table really lays it out perfectly. When our natural intensity is aimed at worldly things, money, people, fear, the outcome is always entrapment. We get stuck. But what if we could take that exact same level of obsession and just redirect it towards something higher, a higher ideal, what the source material kind of amusingly calls God mania? Then the outcome is liberation. So this is absolutely crucial. The point is not to repress your intense feelings. You don't have to try and create some new spiritual feelings out of thin air. That deep feeling inside you, that bhavana, it's already there. It's fully developed. The only work you have to do is just change its target. Okay, so what does a higher target even mean, really? This leads us to a really beautiful distinction between what we can call real love and its worldly shadow. So check this out. We have two terms here. Ishq mazazi, or worldly love. This is the love directed at temporary things, people, objects, our status. Then we have ishq hakiki, or real love, and that's directed at the ultimate, unchanging reality. But, and this is the most important part, the feeling itself, that intense, all-consuming energy, it is exactly the same in both. The only thing that changes is what you're aiming your affection at.
I know this can feel a little abstract, so let's use a super simple analogy. Just imagine that the ultimate reality is like pure, formless gold. It's the substance, the raw potential.
And now imagine a form that gold takes, say a bracelet. The bracelet isn't something separate from the gold, right? It is the gold, just in a specific shape. Well, in the exact same way that formless reality can be loved and focused on through a specific form, like a person or a powerful ideal, without ever losing its true underlying nature as the gold. All right, for our final section, let's get super practical and tackle a mental trap that honestly trips up almost everyone. We're talking about the doer paradox. It's all about figuring out who is really in charge of your actions and, what happens because of them. We all do this, right? We fall into what you could call the convenience trap. It's kind of a hypocrisy, really. When we mess up, it's so easy to say, oh, it was God's will, to avoid feeling guilty. But the second we achieve something great, we proudly stand up and say, I did this. I earned it. See, we want all the credit, but none of the blame.
So this really calls for some intellectual honesty. You have to pick a lane and you have to stay in it. So, option A is total responsibility. You are the doer, period. That means you own your mistakes and you get to own your successes. Then there's option B, total surrender. A higher power is the doer of everything. But that means, well, everything. The good, the bad, and even the stuff that other people do to you. You just can't have it both ways.
So, what's the practical solution here? It's actually a really powerful mental model, the caretaker. Just imagine you're managing a shop. Of course you work hard, you make the daily decisions, but you always know deep down there's an owner. The profit or the loss, that ultimately belongs to the owner, not to you. Adopting this mindset frees you from the crushing ego of success and the despair of failure. And that really leaves us with one final question to take with you. As you go about your day, your work, your relationships, just ask yourself, are you acting like the stressed out owner who's responsible for every single outcome? Or are you the focused, dedicated caretaker, just doing your absolute best and leaving the final results to a higher power?